every now and then. There we go. So I want to be able to get right into it and find out from all of you some of these conversations. This is, admittedly, a very low-tech meeting. A lot of you are used to me breaking out and doing all the high-tech stuff and, what's the latest in AI and all the latest tools. And there's a lot of really cool things that I think are things that you guys really need to know and really need to see. That said, the low tech works too. Mailers work. Okay, prove me wrong. Mailers work. I've got competitors that make a lot of money off of mailers. Dina's smiling. She's like, not my community. They have to wrinkle the little box up and cram it into the box, and nobody's reading it. Mailers work. Cold calling works. And guess what? Breaking into conversations that you normally not in works. I'll give you a very crude example. I was with my friend Jason at a place called Cut 432, which is in Delray Beach. Excellent steakhouse if anybody wants to go try something sometime. It's a little loud, but it's great, great place. So Cut 432 in Delray Beach. And we're there. And when you look at someone and you just know that they're a realtor, you just, oh my God, they've got to be a realtor. There's just, what else could they possibly be? You just had that feeling. And Jason looked at this woman who was there, and she was kind of flirty and all this, and saw that she was, in fact, a realtor. And he said, I bet you she's going to come over to me and try and get my deal. I said, you have a deal? He goes, well, if I had a deal, I'd probably give it to you, but just ask me about the sale. I'm like, okay, how's the sale going? I said it nice and loud. And sure enough, he's like, ugh, I can't stand the options. I don't like any of the realtors. And he looked at me and said, now go to the bathroom. And I said, okay. So I went up and I went to the bathroom. 5 minutes later, she was all over him. She was all over him. Now, I'm not suggesting that all of you do this. By the way, I told you it was crude. We came up with a nickname for her. It was called FFL, Fuck for Listings. Horrible. But that was really what it seemed to be. We called her FFL. Now, Dina's like ready to crawl into the thing. Did I actually say this in the live meeting? Yes, I did. Why did I say that? Because at the end of the day, while I don't approve of the approach that she actually took, I applaud the fact that somebody actually heard someone talking about real estate and they jumped on it. Well, not quite jumped on it, but actually broke into the conversation. Again, it doesn't have to be that way. But has anyone ever been in an elevator or ever been in a situation where someone is talking about, okay, Terry, I knew there was a reason you showed up today, Terry. Why don't you take the mic? Tell us what happened.
Well, it just happened. It just happened to me, actually. I threw a block party. Not
big with his block parties, guys. That's good.
But last Saturday, and we got some bad news during the block party that the busybody of the block had passed away that week.
Okay, so that's bad.
Well, it's a mixed bag.
I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but she was awful. Okay, go ahead.
See, it works so much better when you say it, Edmund. It works so much better that way.
I really do get away with more than most. I don't know why. Yeah.
So I sold the big blue house on my block, like 2,000 square feet bigger than anybody else's house. She's on the next block with the same sized house. Now, was never very popular. How does one go about reaching out to the family to say, gee, sorry for passing, but you're going to have to sell the house? And how do I become that person?
It's not just you, Terry. It's all of us. It's all of us. Thank you for having the courage to bring it up. All joking aside, Dina's nodding here. Yes, we go through that. So continue. What happened?
I drafted a letter, a one-page letter. You can't be really verbose on these things because they'll just toss it to the family. Sent it to the house because I noticed that there's an unusual car that comes up and it must be an adult child, blah, blah, blah. So I sent it over there. We're going to miss her. But I'm also the agent who sold the other big blue house in this neighborhood. When the time comes around, take your time to do your morning business, whatever you need to do. Please reach out to me. Excuse me. I saw very early one morning an adult, it must be the adult daughter, getting out of her car, walking in to the house. So I went over. I had some, my mom was here, so she had baked goods. So I threw something together and took over some baked goods and another copy of my letter and a business card and introduced myself. And she invited me to the funeral and the thing afterwards at the house. I didn't go to the funeral, but I did go to the thing after the house and met again the daughter and the two brothers who do live locally, and didn't really pitch my pitch there because you got to read the room. But I feel like if I didn't do this, there's plenty of other agents that would.
Yeah, they really are. They really are. And the outcome might be
This was Sunday when the actual funeral and blah 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 took place. So I'm going to send out another letter to the adult children now that they know who I am, and
Mhm.
as a follow-up, and just stay in touch.
It's Terry, again, this goes along the line. So many, nobody wants to talk about it. There's a broker in my neighborhood who he literally calls, as most of you know, I live in a gated country club community where it's very close knit, 728 homes. There's an association where you get people's telephone numbers, and there's a website and all this great stuff. And whenever someone dies, there's a competitor of mine who literally calls the club and says, "Who's the next of kin?" And then he will cold call them. And I saw him in one case go up to somebody at the Shiva. For our Gentiles who doesn't know what a Shiva is, it's a memorial, kind of make them feel a little bit better. You actually show up, and it's happens right after someone dies. Again, I make no assumptions here. And he went up to the adult son. When I put mean adult son, the son was about 65 years old. And he puts his hands on his shoulder and he said, I I was friends with your dad. I remember one time when we were playing cards, and the son looked at him and said, "My dad never played cards a day in his life."
Ah,
Yeah, thank you, Heather. Yeah, exactly. That was what, so it backfired on the guy, but here's the thing, and this is what really pisses me off. I couldn't do that. Why? My mom died 14 years ago. And I got no less than half a dozen calls off the obituary. At the time, people were reading the newspaper, and it's something like the internet, but it's made out of paper, and you could throw it in the garbage afterwards. So that they actually had the obituary in a newspaper, and they called me off of that. And I thought, oh my God, this is the most obnoxious thing. I wish that never happened to me, because Dean and I talk about this all the time. How the heck am I going to pick up the phone and call the next of kin? Terry, what are some ways that we could actually do that? Now we spelled out the dilemma. We spelled out the fact that there are people who are willing to do it. We spelled out the fact that that person gets attacked and people look at him and will never do business with him. And we'll also spell out the fact, and I'm going to deny it if you try and question me on it, he's beating me. He's beating me in a particular community. He's beating me with those deals because he actually has the guts to go ahead and make the calls. I'm not going to change. I find it disrespectful. It happened to me. But let's try and meet halfway. Terry or whoever wants to jump in, how would you get into that conversation? How would you actually bring something up? And guys, there are no wrong answers. Well, maybe there's wrong, but I won't attack you for it. I'll think you're courageous for actually trying. Maybe Greg, maybe Hidika, maybe Terry, maybe Kenny. Kenny, knock yourself out. Give us
yeah.
briefly, what
Well,
would you do?
you've got to ask the question. I've had 3 people die on my block, right? So once you're in front of them, you're just asking a question. What are your plans with the house? It's not selling yourself or anything, but at least open that conversation. So I'm going to get one of the listings, but they're going to keep it for a while. The other two are keeping him right now. There's a lot of second homes up here where I'm living. So, but really, condolences card or whatever, even or whatever. But I've got the information on the kids, uh, and really just not you're not saying, hey, give me the listing or anything. You're just like, you're asking being of service, but just asking the question. Let them answer the question.
Okay, so he got that. So that's what Kenny would do. How do you actually break the ice and start the conversation? Greg, you want to? How do they do it in Charlotte, Charleston? Sorry.
Big difference. So a couple of things here. I have a couple of different businesses. One of them is a florist. So I'm a silent partner and a florist locally, and the active partner notifies me anytime he's doing funeral flowers. So I have even gone so far as to, in a realtor shirt, go deliver the flowers directly to the family. And you know, it is a tough conversation, but you know, I let them know I'm a realtor. I have some resources when time comes and you need to clear out the house. I've got an estate sale person. You know, if you need stuff done around the house, the yard mowed, whatever, I've got contacts for that. Don't hesitate to call me. Here's my business card. Follow that up with, you know, a week or two later, a card. And I don't think I ever really ask for the business, which, you know, shame on me. But it has gotten me at least one listing that I can think of right now.
Okay, we feel too much shame in those. Shame on you for stamping on someone's foot, not for not making move just yet. That's why everyone's here. We're trying to get a little bit better. And I
I
think
have another story.
go ahead,
I have another story.
Terry. You know, just because it's been so long since we've seen you, why don't you just tell everyone who you are and where you are?
I'm Terry Robinson. I'm with Douglas Elliman Real Estate. I am in Brooklyn, the coolest place in the world, and I would love to take on all of your referrals and reach out anytime. Now, even though I am with Elliman now, I started my career with the Corcoran Group, and they were really good at sending you to Corcoran College, as we called it then, which was like a 1 week training of, you know, how to do real estate. And we did a role playing with I was there, and the guy who was teaching it was a mourning adult son. Mom had just passed, and oh my God, he must have been an actor in a previous life because he was wailing, you know, and I'm like, gee, I'm sorry. You have my condolences. When the time is right, why don't you reach out to me? Here's my card. And that guy turned on a dime and said, no, that is the wrong thing to do. You are a professional, and this person needs your professional services right now. So I was like, whoa, okay. So maybe, Edmund, your conscience has always been a very attractive part of you, much like, you know, those broad shoulders. So I think we need to reconfigure our perspective on this. We are professionals.
Yeah.
This is the service that we provide. If and we're going to do it as respectfully and professionally as we possibly can. So we need to do this. The gentleman from Charleston had a perfect thing, and Kenny as well. How can we help you in this trying time? Not like, give me a damn listing. You know, there's always how you approach this professionally. So things I learned at Corcoran College.
But yeah, there's another guy, Fred Wilson. I really remember Fred Wilson. He was a consultant for TELUS and then for Element for a while. But he came out, you know, you can't just start out with a question. First, you got to just, you know, the icebreakers, just get into the I'm sorry and the whole concept, you know, the whole thing. But then, you know, get it to extend, you know, say a few things about the person and let them talk. Get the other family member or whoever it is to talk. And once they're into talking, they'll feel more comfortable because whoever's doing most of the talking is usually the person just feels better about themselves, for one. So, and then once you're getting closer, you could pivot to a question, you know, and then and go from there. I mean, it's not like slam it down your throat, you know, hey, you know, can we sell the house? And then you've got the opportunity to say a little bit about yourself. You know, sold the house on the street or whatever. But you know, try to create a relationship before just, you know, knocking them out. You know, so
Let's just step it up one. I didn't mean to just focus only on condolences or someone's passed away. You, on a day-to-day basis, we hear things, we meet people, we see people, and we'd love to be able to break into a particular conversation. What are some of the icebreakers that could actually get you in? You know, I think it's easier than you actually think, but people are scared. People are a little nervous to actually do it because I guess fear of rejection or fear of whatever. What are some icebreakers? Again, before I pick on Dina or Samantha, you know, which I feel safe picking on because they're on my team and I pick on them anyway. What are some icebreakers that could actually start the conversation? Somebody actually sitting in a bar, in a party, somewhere. Okay. Oh yeah, we got to move mom into assisted living. Very real conversation, guys. At least in Florida, it comes up quite a bit. You know, and you know that there's a transaction. Here's the thing. Here's the thing that I want to remind everyone. Somebody's going to get the deal. Listen to that. Think about it. And guys, if you're not muted, like Linda, please mute. Somebody's going to get the deal. It might as well be you, right? Somebody's going to get the deal and somebody's going to be able to win and win big. And I really would love for it to be you. So I throw this out again. How would you go about breaking into a conversation? Dina and I are chatting away here. Actually, Dina, do me a favor, role play with me for a second. She hates me for doing this. Okay, good.
No,
So-
not at all.
So great.
No.
Okay, Linda, I'm muting you here. There we go. So you guys can unmute yourself and break into the conversation that I'm having with Dina right now. Dina, wow, I got to tell you, I can't stand it here anymore. And all these people I'm meeting have just annoyed me. I want to move to the coast. I want to move to the water. I want to get away from the country clubs and all of this. Do you like living in this area? Tell me about that. Now, guys, somebody break into the conversation. Dina, go ahead.
I always find that, I mean, do you want me to actually role play?
No, we're role playing. You and I are talking.
Okay,
And
sorry.
somebody's going to interrupt us.
Sorry.
Okay.
Really, you don't like it there? I mean, your house is worth so much. What do you think you could buy? What are you looking to buy on the coast? It's beautiful over there. It's so nice to live on the beach. It's gorgeous.
I don't know. I mean, I think that there's options. We're struggling between a house and a condo. And I look at my home right now. It's appreciated probably fivefold since I bought it 10 years ago. And I think there's the revenue, but I worry about things like property taxes. I don't know. Do you have any friends that live east?
I do. And it really depends on what you can spend. A single family house on the beach could be really difficult because there's a lot of maintenance with living on the ocean. People seem to love living on the condos there. There's some great areas in Highland Beach. I would just sort of showcase my knowledge, honestly. Like that's, the direction I would go in. I feel like for me, as soon as I mention I'm a realtor to anyone, they literally want to know the value of their house and where they can go.
Let's keep going here. Somebody break into the conversation now. Somebody do it. Have some courage, guys. Unmute and break into the conversation. It's not going to hurt. Samantha, don't raise your hand. Just do it.
Okay.
So are you
Hi,
sitting
I
in
can't
a
help but
bar?
overhear your conversation.
Okay.
Right. That's so interesting. I have friends that just moved to the water and they live at X, Y, and Z. Have you ever thought about taking a look at it?
Interesting. Okay, good. So now came in. We don't know who she is or what she is. Actually, no. I've not seen X, Y, and Z, but I'd be interested. How many friends do you have that live over there?
So I know people that I know people that are all along the beach side, anywhere from Boca all the way up to Palm Beach. And I'm just going to leave. You guys enjoy your evening. I'm actually just going to leave you my card. If you're interested in seeing anything, I'd be happy to show you.
Okay. So what does everyone think? I know nobody's comfortable with this. If you can't do it in this private meeting where I'm saying it's okay and I'm actually begging you to do it, and we're a bunch of realtors, for God's sakes, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to do this in the real world. And if this is almost like a coaching session here, we need to go over it. The worst I could do is tease you and humiliate you and make you feel terrible. No, that's not the worst thing. I would never do that. But it really wouldn't be that bad. How do you break in on a conversation? Somebody throws something out at me. Andy's out too.
So
I'm here.
if Go ahead.
Go ahead, Andy.
I mean, if I was like at a bar or something, you could just be like, oh, that looks like an interesting drink. Just start with something, what they're drinking, what they're eating, like anything. you know, you could really start a conversation so easily with any of that,
Yeah, I would think so.
right? I mean, I would just start like nothing about real estate and then obviously it'll get there.
Sure. You know, if you guys would stop and just plan out that scenario before it actually happens, I mean, right now you could actually sit down and come up with some icebreakers. Samantha wasn't wrong. Samantha, the only thing that I would do differently is I wouldn't leave just leaving the card. You might as well toss it into the, Grand Canyon at that point. People forget very, very quickly. I argue with Eitan all the time about this. Well, how many times should we send an email or should we go out to people? You get so much email right now. We got to think through what is the type of message and what is the frequency of the message to get the optimal effects. We're going to piss off somebody. But guys, you can even say you professionally piss people off. You really do. There are people that are going to get pissed off, but we've got to figure out a way to build the bridge. Let me give you that scenario again. We're in a bar, restaurant, not an open house, a party, cocktail party. Everyone loves to say this cocktail party. Yeah, we're at some event and you overhear something where you want to get in on the conversation. What do? Okay, where's my bold guys that didn't swipe right or left when they were dating? They actually had to walk across the floor and introduce yourself to her or him if you're gay. Okay, who's here that had to? Me, Emily Myers, 7th grade. She was really, really cute. I made a beeline for her in the dance across the floor. And I got in trouble for it by a principal of the school who was a coward himself. And I remember saying, little Eddie, 7th grade, I remember saying to myself, when I'm 56 years old and speaking to all these people on REIGNation, will I think this guy was the biggest asshole ever? Yes. Yes, he was horrible. He was taking somebody who was a burgeoning salesman who had some great focus and great potential, and he was squashing it in 7th grade. Horrible experience. It had a profound impact on me because I really said to myself, what did I do wrong? Eddie, if I could speak to that kid right now, you did nothing wrong. You did nothing wrong. Now I've got to find out from you, what are some icebreakers? What are the icebreakers? If you guys could actually sit and write it out, that would be great. I'll go a step further. You've got, I'm going to set a timer here. You got 30 seconds, okay? For the first person to actually give me an icebreaker in the next 30 seconds, I'm going to give you a month free of REIGNation. It's $30. You got 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
What's the scenario for the icebreaker?
Ah, Leslie likes the money.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
what's the scenario? Any scenario. You're in a bar, you hear someone died, anything you want.
Oh, I overheard you say that you live in such and such. That is an awesome area. I just moved my aunt into that area and she loves it. How long have you been living there?
Mazel tov. That's what we've been looking for. Thank you for that. Okay. Daniel, remind me that I've got to credit Leslie for a month. Okay. Pretty easy, pretty harmless. But you know what? It's interesting that a couple of you actually perked up when you learned about the $30. What about the $30,000 that you could get? Guys, this is a safe place. I'm not going to mock you. At least if I do, it's always in good fun. It's not going to be bad. We're not going to hurt you here. This is the training grounds. I want you to use this as the battleground right now to be able to make yourself a little bit better. If you could take one little thing from each of my meetings and immediately take it back to the office and use it to make some money, that would be great. Leslie, good for you. Okay, I'll repeat it one last time. I'll give somebody else a $30, free month here. And go, 30 seconds. Who wants to jump in?
Nice shoes.
Yeah.
Do you walk far in those?
Terry just got himself a free month. Very good. You see how that worked? Okay, it's over now. Sorry. Nice shoes. That's all he said. Eitan, you put your hand down. I'm just kidding. Eitan, what's up?
I'm part of the REIGNation, a community of realtor. You want to hear more about it?
Wow. Okay. You know what? I know he's joking a little bit, but he's not that far off. That whether it's me or any other organization, This is what it is. I would love to run your question by a whole load of realtors. You hear something that's unusual? Wow, I overheard you talking, and I got to say this, without soliciting your business. I work with a couple hundred realtors from across the country that routinely come into this meeting. And I'm going to take that question and I want to pose it to them. And I'd love to be able to call you to tell you what universally they had to say about it. People love the whole group think. They love that. You just, so as much as, I don't know, Eitan, whether you were serious or joking, but that's not a bad idea. Okay. Here's another thing. And I'm going to give you all this one sentence, and you should write it down. So everybody get out a pen. This is the only thing I'm asking you to write today. It's the most important thing. It's the one sentence that you're going to use, and it's going to get you business. You ready for the sentence? I don't know if it's right for you, but write that down. I don't know if it's right for you, but I didn't write that, unfortunately. That was written by a guy that wrote the book, Remember Every Words That Sell. And that right there, what I just said in that one sentence is so much. It's so perfect. I don't know if it's right for you, but you're giving them a break. You're breaking into the conversation, and you're actually giving that person the opportunity to say no. The reason most people give you such resistance is because they don't feel that they have the ability to get out of it. Hi, I don't know if it's right for you, but I moved someone into that building, and I'd really love to tell you about the upside or the downside to it. Do you have a second? I don't know if it's right for you, but I know of a colleague of mine who did that. Just write that sentence down. Holy cow, it works. It really does. I have this on my whiteboard in my office. When I come in, I look up, I don't know if it's right for you, but if you just master that one sentence and put it to use in the next hour, you will win. So, who's that? Okay, Kenny's all excited.
Yeah. I got one from Fred Wilson, but that's a great line. But you could also finish it like what Fred would do is, I don't know if it's right for you, but if I can show you a great property, would you be interested?
Great.
And what
Say it again. Say it again, Kenny, so everyone hears you.
I don't know if it's right for you, but if I can show you a great property, would you be interested? Now, what Fred does every day is goes through the MLS and so forth and finds what he calls a propertunity. Find a listing out there that's new that might be either a deal or special or something, and he gets all the information on it, and he'll be in public or walk the street or bump into people and just say, if I could show you a deal on a property, would you be interested? So get them to say yes and use that house as bait, whatever the deal is. And he's even said, like, if I could show you a property, it would pay you to own it. Would you be interested? Depending on the deals. I was trying to look for his book because he's got a book I have of his.
When you find it, you could put it up on the Facebook page.
It's a simple book. Yeah, he's got a whole 7-part transition on ice breaking and an extension and so forth and how to do it. I could probably just outline it. I've interviewed him when I was at TELUS on calls too with Peter Hernandez. So
this is
simple. Yeah.
Great stuff. It's simple. It gets to the point. If you could get in on the conversation and give someone an out. Here's one other thing.
Ooh, I'm sorry, Edmund, may I interrupt?
Go ahead.
My computer died, and right when I got back online, I heard you say something like, "Now remember that line. That's going to be a great line for you." And I don't know what the line is.
Okay, I don't know if it's right for you, but write it down. I don't know if it's right for you, but I don't know if it's right for you, but I know someone that moved into this building over here. Sorry for interrupting. I don't know if it's right for you, but there's something that you really need to know about real estate in Boca Raton. Do you have a second? Why do you know? I'm a realtor. I'm in sales. We are the backbone of the American dream. We really are. We are the people that are actually getting stuff done. That's the sentence. I don't know if it's right for you, but Daniel, remind me to put it up on the Facebook page and on the blog and all of that. We need to write a blog about that particular sentence. More people have claimed to me that they got in with that one sentence than anything. It sounds absolutely ridiculous, but try it. That's all I could say. Try it. It works. Leslie, did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Good.
I'll share one more quick thing.
Please.
I wear my shit.
You wear your shit?
I wear my my brokerage shirt all the time,
Yeah.
and I'll no, I don't. I had a client that works at State Department or something, and it had a really nice shirt, and he gave it to me, and he goes, and the lady at the checkout goes, "Oh, that's a great shirt. Where'd you get it?" I said, "Oh, one of my clients gave it to me." And whenever you say client, it always a question always follows. Oh, your client? Are you a lawyer? You know, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm a real estate broker. And this guy, I help this guy do blah, blah, blah.
You know, it's interesting you said shirt, because there's something I did a few years ago. It worked. I just can't do it for luxury real estate, but I throw this out as an idea for all of you. Get a t-shirt that says, ask me a real estate question. If I can't answer your real estate question, we got to find a way to paraphrase. I'm saying it too long. If I can't answer your real estate question, I'll give you $5. And then you have a $5 bill with your business card stapled to it. Okay? If they ask a mortgage question, you don't have the $5. Oh, it's a mortgage question, not a real estate question. You know, but you could do that. People cannot resist. People cannot resist. You're going to get a lot of realtors doing that as well. They're going to try and break in, but they're going to look at you and they're going to ask you a question. And they're going to say, if I can't answer your real estate question, I'll give you $5. I can't resist it. It's not great for my community. It makes I'm not personally comfortable with it. Maybe I need to get over that. But for those of you that take the time and want to do a case study with me here and want to go out and get their own shirt and do it, I'll do a whole Zoom meeting on it if we have some success out of that. I will do a whole Zoom meeting on it. It would be amazing. So just consider that. Okay, moving on here. Who's got some other insights into this? Is kind of lively. I like it. Nice group of people today. You're a beautiful audience. Okay, let's see who else we got here. A few note takers. Tom, Lisa Scotch is here. Good to see you, Lisa. Alexander, he's been very quiet today. I don't know why Alex Parker's so quiet, but he's here.
It's been one of those mornings, but I'm here taking it all in.
Okay, you're the man. Love having you. Love having you. Okay, so let's bring this full circle. Anybody have any other scenarios or ideas or anything that's actually occurred where you really needed to break into a conversation but could not? Anyone want to throw that out before we get to wants, needs, and brags? And also, as you're doing that, Daniel, if you could get the next two upcoming meetings and put them in the chat for people to see, that would be great. Anyone? No, maybe. Okay, I've got here my social media. If we're not connected, please, you could just look up Edmund Bogan, or it's right here, right next to me. I've got two accounts that I'd love for you to follow, the Edmund Bogan account and the REIGNation group. If you follow me, I'll follow you back. And I'd love to be able to connect with all of you. Again, it goes with my philosophy. I coined the phrase, the realtor's law of crap, Edmund's law of crap: capture, reward, automate, and plan. If you're actually capturing people, that's what the biggest problem in here, that's really what it gets down to. It's the same problem over and over again. You guys must come up with a way of continually capturing new people and nurturing the relationships that you already have. For those that do, that's why I've given the example more than once of my friend who's sober for now 30 years. He goes to AA every day, and all of his business comes from the Alcoholics Anonymous world. And if you think about it, let's break down why that is. Now everyone's running off to an AA meeting, but let's break down why it is. One, it's a group of people that are committed to helping themselves as well as helping other people. Two, you see the same people over and over again. And three, you have an endless stream of new people coming in. It is the perfect scenario for sales. Now, once again, I'm not saying for you to go, lie and say that you're an alcoholic just for the sake of getting business. On the other hand, a lot of them said it's a room full of liars and cheats. I don't know, just saying. If you actually want to go and do that, that's your business. But it is something that for those who I know are in the program, they're able to do it. Eitan, did you have a question or you wanted to make a point?
Well, I actually, that brought up to my mind some books that I've read, and I posted them on the chat. One of them is exactly what to say for real estate agents, and he
Okay.
actually had a few of those lines. Especially, I don't know if it's for you, but so I just wanted to share that with everybody. If you can take a look at the chat.
Okay, very, very good. And yes, it is a good book, and it is something that's worth getting. And they've got the Amazon thing. Next week, standing out what separates top agents from the rest. That's actually a very close cousin to this meeting. And I'm doing these deliberate low tech stuff because I've gotten some criticism that we've just focused too much on AI. I do want to come up with a balance. But don't you notice, like, is Alicia here? I don't think she is. Okay. But there's a couple of you that I actually work with where you always say, why is it that when you think about Brooklyn real estate, you oftentimes think about Terry? Why is it that comes up? What is it about the guy that actually gets that? Aside from always saying Brooklyn's the coolest thing in the world, there's something that people are able to do to be able to make a magnet, attach themselves to their area. That's what next week's meeting about. And then on Friday, we've got developing the apex mindset. Apex predator, nobody messes with the lion, right? Nobody messes with the tough guy. We're really trying to take the next couple weeks to make this and to go back to the basics, because a lot of you have forgotten that. So we're going to do that. Also coming up in August, I will have a 6-week video course, which we're going to be talking more and more about. Please look for all the communications about this. It will be both live, and then we'll have that in a special archive just for those who are subscribed to it. So if you want to be able to talk about that, we got all sorts of great stuff going on here. With that said, wants, needs, and brags. Now's the time for you to tell us what you want, what you need, and what you would like to brag about. Daniel, thank you for putting your email address in the chat. If anybody has any issues ever, Daniel's the man. Much better than me or Eitan. He's going to jump right on it. So please do reach out to him. But wants, needs, and brags. Who's got a want? Who's got a need? Who's got a brag? It could be a deal that you just did. It could be a lead that you've gotten. It could be a charity that you're involved in. It could be a song that you sung. I don't care what it is. Anything that you want to celebrate, we want to celebrate it with you. So who has got that special something that we could mention? Hopefully somebody that we haven't heard from yet. Maybe Lisa Scotch, or Heather Weiss, or Hedeka. Levette's here. Oh my God, Levette's so quiet. How is Levette so quiet? Very strange. Okay.
Sitting here doing my also listening.
Okay. So wants, needs, and brags, Levette. Anything you want to brag about this week?
Nothing major. Oh, I did win the best of real estate agent in Norfolk again this year. So
well, if that's not a brag.
Yeah.
Tell it again slowly. You're the best what?
It's a local contest that we do. It's called Best of. There's, various businesses that will enter or be nominated. And I won in the real estate category, 2nd year in a row.
The best realtor where?
Norfolk, Virginia.
Norfolk, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
We have greatness among us, folks. I always wondered who's the greatest realtor in Norfolk, Virginia, and she's right here. I didn't have
to.
Congratulations, that's good stuff. Who else? Who else? Anybody get a lead from someone? Gotta shake the box here a little bit. Come on, let's look on the bright side, guys. You have all of your ear, right? You didn't get a bullet going through it, right? Everyone's got their ear.
I'll share.
Local politics. That's no good. I can't too soon. I can't do that. Okay, Leslie, go ahead.
I was at an open house this past weekend. I held an open house, and I've always been hesitant to use certain scripts because I think they sound pushy. And so I just said, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen to you? Will you die? And so I use, some of those script questions and everything. And I got an appointment for this Saturday with some buyers.
See that? You see that? But that's what I'm talking about, guys. It's just what you go the route that you haven't gone, and lo and behold, there's some success. Is everybody sending notes out every day? I got my notes. 2 letters a day. Okay. Oh, look at that. Greg's got his notes too. 2 letters a day. Whatever it is, neighbor, I've got the perfect buyer for you. You know, someone passed away. I'm so sorry for your loss. Somebody just, their kid got into college. There's always something going on, you know? And this, by the way, you get this in the mail, it's a gift. The only thing I get in the mail is crap. When I get a letter, this looks like it's written by grandma or something. What a gift. It's the easiest thing that every one of us can do, and none of you are doing it. So do it, okay? Just do it. And if you want me to kick your ass with that, let me know and I'll gladly kick. Metaphorically speaking, of course. I would never do it in real life, okay? Okay, anyone else before we get to Terry, who's finally going to sing us out? I'm finally going to get a little rest here.
I put that I put the name of the book in the chat, but I'm not a big fan of a book, but I've got the outline of what he does. And I interviewed him when I was at Element and Telus. I'll find the interview. It's in their library, and then people get to see what he does. But anyway.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
The other thing is study people, study personalities.
Okay.
This book, I'm not a big fan of that book, but
Funded by idiots. I like the name.
yeah,
I really feel that way. Terry,
I want to brag.
Terry, brag.
I have mentioned on here before that I go to the local patisserie on Wednesdays from 2 to 3, and I will buy everybody who comes in their coffee. And people say, so why are you buying me my coffee? It's like, so you will take my business card and we can talk about real estate because you're my neighbor and blah, blah, blah. And I always get into a little bit of a conversation. Now, it's all well and good to do that. But this week, well, the last 2 weeks, I've had 5 people reach out to me because of doing this. Now, you go for months and it doesn't happen. 5 people, one of them is a lead. I wants to spend up to $1 million. And I'm like, huzzah. So 30, 40 bucks a week, I'm buying people coffee and get to talk to your neighbors. It does pay off. Whatever that thing is that you do, keep doing it.
Yeah. Guys, it's so important. It really is. We have to get over the lessons of our parents. We have to get over what Mr. Wells told Eddie when he was in 7th grade, little Eddie, this one. You know, we have to, damn it, all I wanted to do was go and dance with Emily Myers. She was so cute. She had the puppy stickers on her notebook. I thought she was the greatest thing in the world, okay? And what did I do? The dance happened. I went, made a beeline to what I wanted. And I said, come on, let's dance. And I grabbed her hand and he grabs me by the ear, takes me out of the room and says, you're never going to get that far in life being so aggressive. Bullshit, Mr. Wells. I'd love to have him on the meeting today. Bullshit. It had a profound impact on this kid. I never forgot it. I'm 56 years old. Am I over it? Of course. I mean, no one's going to live in the past. But you don't forget some of these lessons. And if I could have made a critical point, a critical decision in life to go down the route of being shy and introverted, or to say that I could live my best life in sales by being extroverted and being out there. And it's hard. It's hard. I come out here every day with butterflies in my stomach when I come to this thing. Believe me, I worry that all of you are going to hate me. It comes up all the time. You really, really do have that. But it's something that you can get over. And it is something that actually does work. So it is something to talk about. Okay, Terry, are you, enough of me preaching here. Are you ready for me?
I am so ready.
When he says that, it makes me want to say, it really is great meeting all of you. It's so good to see everyone today, and I look forward to seeing all of you next Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for another exciting episode of
REIGNation.
Now the meeting can finally
Hi,
end.
thank you.
Terry's been gone for too long, and now we can finally all go to sleep. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, everyone. Coaching clients, we need an appointment. Please, please, please make sure that we're booked. If you want to know more about coaching or about the upcoming video course, please do send us an email. You can email Daniel at Bogan Homes or reach out to me, or, you know, and certainly follow me on social media. Make it a great week.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bye, guys.